What's up? What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is gonna be your review of Married to Medicine, season 7, episode 13. Now, look, this is our last episode that's in Cabo. We start the episode off. They clowning about the night before. They talking about the strip club and everybody's clowning and has jokes. Nobody had an issue with them going to the strip club, with the exception of Dr. Heavenly. But it sounds like Quad might have had an issue had she been there with her husband, because she made a comment about being glad that her husband wasn't there. So I was just like, maybe that's something that would have bothered Quad, but I guess we won't know anytime soon. So, um, they're going on their mission trip. The one thing I do love about this show is that every time they take one of these trips, they go out and they um minister isn't the word I'm looking for, but they go out and they um, triage the community. All of them are doctors, and even the women and men who are married to the doctors, they go out and they find a way to be supportive in doing that. And they just do basic triage. I mean, obviously, nobody is performing any type of surgeries or anything like that. They do the basic family health type thing. And it was really cool. It was really, really cool. It's funny, on the way over there, the guys on the way over there, Cecil took full responsibility for the guys, and they were trying to get Damon out of trouble. They tried to say that Damon didn't want to go, but they made Damon go. Honey, they got Damon on tape all the way live. Okay, anyway, but it seemed like it was a really, really good day at the clinic. Simone or the producers, whomever, found an organization that they could work with. They took supplies. We saw them packing the bags last episode with just basic, toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, basic toiletries and stuff. Um, they had Dr. Jackie and Toya's husband, Eugene, talking to the girls about sex. They said that Mexico has one of the highest um, teen pregnancy in the country, or something to that. I'm not sure exactly how it was worded, but basically they have a lot of young girls getting pregnant. And of course they didn't feel that comfortable talking to Eugene. I appreciate the effort, Eugene, but generally speaking, that's not something that young ladies feel comfortable having a conversation with men about. But Dr. Jackie was able to have a conversation with them, and she basically said, "Look, are y'all having sex yet?" And of course they said no, and she said, "Okay, but when you're ready to have sex, make sure you use a condom." She didn't try to, you know, talk to them about whether they should or shouldn't, and oh, you're too young, oh, don't do that, oh, da 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 da. It's like, look, if it's gonna be what it's gonna be, but let's deal with keeping you healthy and hopefully preventing you from being a teen mom. She called it the one-eyed monster. She said, "Don't let that one-eyed monster get you." but but it was nice to just again see them working in the community and just trying to leave a place better than you found it. You know what I'm saying? Um, y'all helped out them girls going through college by leaving them dollars at the strip club, and now you helping out the families by doing some basic health checks and screenings. And I thought that was really, really, really cool. Um, Even Buffy's husband, who we know as a psychiatrist, he had to do a medical rotation, so he can do basic triage as well. So I thought that was really good. That everyone was there. Everyone was there. Including Quad, who's not medical, nor is she married to a doctor at this point, but she was still there to do, I'm sure, other things they were able to help out through the day. So that was great. Now back to the beach. They the last day there they had some games that they were playing, which was cool. They were down by the beach. For the most part, everybody was in their bathing suits. For the most part, a few people showed up. They were just ready to fight, honey. They was ready to party. Um, why is Simone just so damn loud? Every season we have a moment where Simone is just loud for no reason. And she was on that beach yelling and thanking them for coming and yelling about the games and all that, and they were just loud, just for no reason. But anyway, so they did a couple of games. We used to do these. A lot of the first game they played, we did that game, or I have done that game before. When we do battle of the classes at my school during Spirit Week, we would do battle of the classes, and we would do a lot of those. If you Google minute to win it games, you'll find a lot of those types of games, and they're great games to do for parties, for get-togethers and stuff like that. And usually, most of the games are real fun. They're real easy, and they're really cheap to put together. Like for example, that game where they were playing where you tied the box to your back and you had to you had to dance and get all of the balls out of the box, like ping pong balls or whatever. I'm not sure what they use, but we just used simple tissue boxes. We just had empty tissue boxes, filled them up with ping pong balls. Um, they have different games that you use cookies or straws and Skittles. So they're real fun games to play. Team building, like you saw them do, and again, cheap to put together. Anyway, Google minute to win it games. Anyway, so the first game they played, they paired up the couples and they put Quad with somebody that worked at the resort. And they did the like I said, they did the dance to get the balls out the little box or whatever. And I want to say Buffy won her heat. Anyway, I ain't gonna. I'm about to sit here and recap who won. Everybody won and who did this and who did that. But they did have a rematch between Dr. Contessa and Damon and Dr. Heavenly. And honey, Contessa and Scott won that thing, honey. They won that thing. Um, they did sort of like a relay race or a three-legged race type activity where they had to be back to back and carry the ball, and they wanted to mix up the couples. And so Simone mixed up the couples, and honey, she was being messy, and she matched up the people she matched up with. Like she put Quad with Doctor with Mariah's husband, Doctor Aiden, right? Messy, messy, messy. She put Cecil with Buffy. She put uh Heavenly, she put Damon and Mariah. So it was just messy, messy, messy. You know what I'm saying? But again, even in its messy, they were having a good time. They all had a good time. They all laughed. It was all in fun. Nobody got mad. Nobody got into an argument. Nobody had an issue. So then they went and they had lunch. And again, great conversation. They talked about strip clubs and they talked about swing parties and contested. They were talking about who been to a strip club and who didn't. And of course, finally, Dr. Heavenly just said, "Look, I didn't want him at the strip club because I know what kinds of things happen at some of the strip clubs." She talked about something, or so I heard. So you heard you was at the strip club. You said at the strip clubs. You was down there. You from Miami. You was down there. King of Diamonds, or maybe it wasn't open when you were down there. It was that other club that El Teddy was talking about earlier, Taboo or something. You was down there, Heavenly. And then Contessa said that she went to a swing party, honey, but she got tricked into it. She went on to further explain that she was with a guy, and the guy knew where they was going, but she didn't know. And you know how people are. They tried their hand. The guy probably was waiting to see if she was with it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm gonna see if she cool with it or not. But it was fun. It was a fun time. Again, they had a good time. Then the close out, they had a what is it? A Night of the Dead party. Mexico. That's a day in Mexico that they celebrate. And so they dressed up. They put makeup on their face, and they would dress up as different zombies and different things of that nature. And they went out and they had their final dinner, and it was fun. Again, it was nice. Nobody was arguing. Nobody was yelling. Of course, Mariah made a little couple of little threw some shade at Quad because Quad showed up as a dead bride, honey. But in my mind, Quad, you opened yourself up to any comment anybody made, okay? Um, and then Simone read a letter to Cecil. We know that through the difficult times in their marriage, one of the things that Cecil complained about was the fact that Simone is just not very open. She's not very affectionate, and she doesn't really share her feelings. But she did. She wrote a really nice letter to her husband. Remember, at the end of the day, this was their anniversary um, trip. Then they did what they always do. What we gonna leave here? What we gonna take back? Um, and again, it was nice. I'm not about to sit here and go through what everybody gonna leave and take back because before they get off the plane, they gonna pick back up what they said they was gonna leave. But I know one of the things they said, Buffy said she wanted to leave. fake friends or something like that, and she wanted to pick up. Anyway, she called. I guess she called herself throwing a shot over to Jackie. And Jackie caught it and threw that shit back. But Buffy, if you know what I know, you better leave it alone. Just take the apology, move on, let that thing go. So we're back now, and two of the bigger things that happened once they got back, we see where Curtis and Jackie are renovating their home, and Curtis was supposed to be meeting up with Jackie at a store, I guess a home renovation store where you could buy, you know, fixtures and a tub and all that good stuff. And Jackie was late, and Curtis was waiting, and when she got there, she had done 500 things that day, and Curtis told her, and this is, you know what, forget about what happened, what Curtis did or didn't do. You might have your judgments about him cheating on her, but at the end of the day, Jackie forgave him and they're working on their marriage. But what I can respect is that in that moment, Curtis told her, "Hey, I feel like we're headed back down that road that put us in a bad place. You are starting to put your job and your obligations ahead of us, and we made a promise to each other that we were never going to do that again." And Jackie said it took her back a little bit because she felt like she was including him in things and that they were not headed in that direction. But she was appreciative that he voiced it and he communicated that before he got resentful and it got to that place. And he told her, he said, "Look, we're not at a red light, but we are at the yellow. We at a cautionary. So, Jackie, what I'm going to say to you is this, baby. D- Take heed, listen to what he's telling you, put that car in reverse, and go back down the road. And whatever you were doing when y'all were working on y'all marriage and y'all were trying to get back to a good place, baby, go back to that. Okay? Go back to that." Quad met with her lawyer. Basically, the marriage is over. She had to sign some papers. She said that's the first time she's used her married name in a year. Um, but basically, the marriage is just a matter of setting a court date. Her lawyer said it's just a matter of setting a court date and going before the judge with their paperwork and letting a judge sign off on it and say, okay, this marriage is over. And of course, Quad said, she didn't get married to get divorced, but things just got very toxic towards the end, and they were making the best decision for both of them. And y'all know how Bravo is. Y'all know how shady Bravo can be. Of course, they flashed back on all of those times, the good times between her and Greg, and then of course, they added the bad times. But last but not least, though, Contessa and Scott have a therapy session, and the doctor actually came to their home, which I'm sure for them being so, busy and everything, it was probably a great thing for the doctor to be able to come and visit them. And they had a therapy session, and it just it's disheartening because I really love the two of them, and I really really want to see them make it. Um, But Contessa has a lot of resentment. And I don't know if she's being fair to Scott because she's making him pay for, or she's upset with him about things that she should have discussed with him before this. And I think that's making this situation even bigger. She feels like Scott turned the kids against her and created a narrative that she didn't have to be in Nashville, and mommy's in Nashville and she's away from us because she wants to be, not because she has to be. I see both sides of that coin. Again, I think I don't think it's appropriate for adults to have adult conversations with children. I do not. But I do not think that Scott is purposely creating a narrative. I think Scott is talking, and maybe some of the things that he's saying are things that he shouldn't be saying to children. But his point isn't wrong. You didn't have to go to Nashville. You chose to go to Nashville. I'm not saying you were wrong for making that decision, but what I am saying is It wasn't that your job said, hey, you need to go to Nashville and do this program or you're going to lose your job. It wasn't that you had a family sick member that you had to go take care of. You made a decision to go into this program that took you away from your children. So he didn't lie, but he shouldn't have probably said it. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I really want them to work it out, but I think both of them are going to have to be more honest in what they're being. And Contessa, you can't keep pointing the finger at him because remember, it's it's four more pointing back at you, or three more pointing back at you, because at the end of the day, both of y'all have made some bad decisions, and I think that you are resentful and you're holding on to stuff that and then she started going off on this tangent about women and what women can do and how women can do all these wonderful things, and she started talking about her friend who's an engineer who do, and the doctor had to tell her to stop, just stop, because again, you're comparing your situation to somebody else's situation. You don't know what that you know what that woman is telling you. You don't know what that woman really sacrificed, or how it affected her marriage, or how it affected her life to do all of these wonderful things that you think she's doing flawlessly. It looked good on the outside, but you don't know what's really going on the inside. Contessa, you need to talk to your baby. Okay. But I want to see them work it out. And I have faith, and I'm holding on to that faith, honey, that they're going to be in a better place because I really, really love them. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.